Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? In an earlier community intel video, I discussed how my friend's home was broken into, and the only evidence left behind was a wet shoe print. But before that happened, she noticed that for a few days, new people that did not live in her neighborhood were walking around in all black clothing at night, holding flashlights and pointing the flashlights onto certain driveways. What I did not mention was what had happened before all of that. And this is a story that is going to resonate with a lot of us. And this is a head on the swivel, know your surroundings, know everything that goes on around you type of video. A curious woman that I'm going to call her Jane, okay, was walking by my friend's house one day and noticed my friend outside with her dog. And she walks by my friend's house every day for a few weeks. And she always carried a bottle of water with her, and her dog is, my friend's dog is very fluffy and cute and extremely lovable. We'll call him Fluffy for this video. And well, every time Jane would walk by my friend's house, she would always stop and pet Fluffy, and she got very, close to Fluffy, and she loved Fluffy, and, and would, like get like attached, right? Like a weird attachment to Fluffy. Well, one particular day, Jane started up a conversation with my friend about her woes. All right. Well, my friend she's one of those, like, people get like, not attracted to her, but like they get drawn to her and they feel like they have to tell her everything. This woman started telling her entire backstory, how she just moved into the neighborhood and is living with her parents 4 blocks away because her husband passed away, and now she's waiting for the lawyers to settle everything because everything's in probate. Okay. Well, after a few times of standing on the lawn and speaking over the last few weeks, my friend, she starts to feel comfortable enough to invite Jane in for a cup of coffee. Sounds normal enough, right? Well, Jane seems normal. She's friendly. She's not creepy in any way. Matter of fact, my friend feels as though she had just made a really great friend. Someone she can relate to, right? We've all been there. And then that's when my friend starts to notice people are walking around the neighborhood at night, wearing all black clothing, pointing flashlight beams onto certain driveways. Now, this would happen when Jane was not around, because Jane would always walk around during the day. Okay. So my friend, she kept this to herself. And she kept this to herself only because she wasn't sure what she was witnessing, and she didn't want to sound the alarm just yet, but it was only because she was afraid that if she sounded the alarm and it turned out to be a nothing burger, then what? She would look like a fool, so she kept it to herself, right? Have you ever been in that situation where you think it's something, but it's actually ends up being nothing, right? Until a week or so later, my friend, she goes about her day, right? She works from home, so she's like, I really got to take a break. I have errands to run. So she leaves home to go run some errands. First, she leaves and she goes to the bank. But before she leaves the bank to go to run her second errand, she's like, oh my gosh, I forgot this. item. I got to go home. Thankfully, she's right down the street from the house. So she goes home. She grabs what she needs to grab. She takes a potty break, and then she leaves again. When she finally returns home for the rest of the day, she notices as she tries to unlock the door that the door is already unlocked. And she's like, that's strange. I know I locked the door. That's what she thought to herself, because you know how you just habit, you know you did it. So what the heck? And then she says to herself, oh, my best friend's not home from work yet. Her car's not in the driveway. All right. Time to pull up my big girl panties. Let's do this. Hand on the holster. It's time to enter, right? So she looks around the main floor. Nothing. She goes upstairs. Nothing. And then she looks at the basement door. No way. No. Can't be. Why would anyone entrap themselves in a basement when there's only one single window down in the basement? And it's like one of those, the window, when it opens, it's like, here's the window, and it opens like that. And it's very hard to, have you ever tried to wiggle out of a basement window? Okay, it's one of those. So she opens up the basement door. She walks down the stairs. And you see, her basement is where all of her preps are kept. 7 years worth. I mean, this chick, she is one ready lady, okay? She don't mess around. Her basement is set up as if it is a grocery store. She's got aisles and aisles of shelving and food stacked, okay? And then she sees it. One wet footprint. What the heck? Yeah, one wet footprint. Now, if you didn't see the picture in the community intel video, here it is again. Now, it's strange. I get it. But how could there only be one wet footprint? I mean, unless somehow they spilled water on themselves when they tried to hide. But you would think that the water would have affected both shoes, right? Not in this case, obviously. Where is this person now? Were they in here in the house the entire time that she was out running errands? Why didn't Fluffy bark? Why didn't Fluffy alert my friend to the presence of this person in the house? Also, nothing was taken out of the house. Nothing. And she had valuables sitting on the dining room table. Nothing was taken out of the house. So, is she being targeted because of her preps? I mean, if valuables were sitting on the dining room table, they were not touched, but they went down to the basement where her preps were? Both of her and I are stumped. We can't figure this out. No, she did not call the cops, because what is she going to do? Saying I found a wet footprint? They're going to be like, and? You know what I mean? You have no other evidence. There's no forced entry. So she didn't call the cops. So we both have a question for the community. What would you do in this situation? Have you ever been in this situation? How could she possibly prevent this from happening again? And even though she saw the red flags, what could she possibly have done? I mean, could she, be that crazy old lady, get away from my property, to the people wearing all black with flashlights walking down the street? I mean, it's like there's only so much you can possibly do. You know what I mean? So I leave you with that. Leave your suggestions in the comment section, because her and I are literally like, I. You know what I mean? And she's got security measures. But obviously, it's just not enough. Even with the dog, even with the alarm, the only thing she doesn't have are cameras. Is that the next step? She doesn't like cameras, and I don't blame her. Not with the way that things get hacked nowadays. So, all right, guys, that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one. Okay, you stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.